David said he went to, I can't remember, it was 4 or 5 different Doors concerts, all of them courtesy of working with Jim Seltzer.
He used to do light shows.
I was just going to say that. He started doing them at ACHS, or high school. And then he went on and did some for Jim. I don't know if he did a Doors concert light show. That would be a pretty good little checkbox, but he did do light shows. Was it with Toby Smith?
Yeah, I think so.
The two of them went out and did light shows for, they kind of got a little gig going for a while. They did that for a few years. So he went from tomato fields to light shows. I think they overlapped. He was a ranch hand out in, is that Fillmore?
Yeah.
Yeah, out in Fillmore. And worked on a ranch, brought home a dog named Shep that was this little border collie, or miniature collie, who impregnated one of our labs, our beautiful labs. My dad was furious. And then later on, Dad said, you know, of all the labs we had, you know, we hunted with the labs all the time, he said, Shep was probably the smartest dog we ever had. He goes, I should have kept one of those labs. It might have been a really lab mix. Might have been a really good dog. What else did he do? He was a fireman in the Navy. He was more later in life a computer network designer and installer. As Sandy said very well when I was talking to her about this, she said, yeah, David loved the process of figuring out how things went together. And, you know, just thinking it through, if this, then that, if this, then that. He had an engineer's mind when it came to that. And then making it all happen. And, you know, he built a lot of stuff over the years. And it was in the obituary. We all kidded that if everything else fell down, that would still be standing, that David touched. I forgot what I was going to say about it. Oh, the boat working thing. This just exemplifies David to a T. He worked on boats for a while. You know, he was a great sailor, as Mike said. He loved sailing. He grew up, learned on PC Kettenbergs.
Well, we learned on dinghies when we were
you learned
8 and 9 years old.
The real sailing, the competitive sailing stuff, were PC Kettenbergs. One of our neighbors used to have, Hilliard Brown. That's where he learned it when we were in West LA. And those are classic boats. I did a little research on them the other day because I was just curious about them. And that's the kind of boat that Dennis Connors revered and learned how to sail. And he's, you know, one of the preeminent sailors of the last 50 years. So they were cool boats. They're big, deep-hulled wooden boats. Like, you could tell me more. 2 mast? One mast, 2 sails.
One mast,
and
2
an outrigger?
sails. Jib and a mainsail.
Okay.
Tiller, you know, just all wooden.
Just classics.
I mean, by that time they were pretty much all epoxy, but like they
Yeah.
pretty much all wood. Just the repairs, you know, people kept putting epoxy and epoxy.
Yeah, right. The wood disintegrated. Epoxy was like. So he ended up working on boats.
It's like Danny's ceiling.
Huh?
Like Danny's ceiling.
Yeah, right. Well, David didn't do that all the PC. But he ended up in a boatyard working on boats, and he installed the cabinetry. And you know, if you got a David Grant cabinet installed boat, the boat would sink, the cabinet would be floating. So he was a wonderful craftsman. He really was. He did things for all of us at our homes, and you know, what might have taken 3 hours took 6 or 8, but you knew it was going to last forever, and it was engineered perfectly. What else? I love working on cars, and you and he worked on motorcycles and cars from time to time. He also was a great athlete. Some stories when we grew up with the Kaufmans and the Harrises, we go to Cascade Lake up by Tahoe, and Jeff and John Kaufman. And by the way, in the slideshow, you're going to see as many pictures of John Kaufman as anybody. He and John's not here. We lost John 9 years ago. Coincidentally, on the very same day David died. And they grew up as kind of brothers together. They were the firstborn of both families. And you'll see a lot of pictures of John when they were really young.
Same day?
Growing up.
They died on the same day.
Yeah.
Same
Different year.
Day of the year, but date, same date.
I'm going to steal one of these because once I start, my nose goes, I can't stop. So, the Cascade trips were epic, and Dan and I, and Mike, even when you were young, Jeff and John lived in Malibu, they lived at the beach. Great surfers before surfing was really cool. They were the cool guys in the house. and David surfed, and we'd go up to the lake. And as you come in, it's a 1 mile circle you run around. It's 2 miles all the way around the lake. It's 1 mile long. As you come into the dock, about 100 yards out is this point. And on the point were these little rocks that some were sticking out of the water this much, some this much. And they were spread out about every 2 or 3 feet. And Jeff, I remember talking to him about this not too long ago, and he said, what were we thinking? But they used to cut, if the boat was lined up just right, the skier was lined up just right, the lake was flat enough, they'd come between the rocks.
One ski, not two.
Yeah, not a single ski. But these guys are out back and forth behind the boat, just magnificent to watch. And we'd all be, the little guys be in the boat, we'd be sitting there like this, looking back at them, and then we'd look and see, here come the rocks, are they gonna go for it, and they would cut right through. And it was so cool to watch these guys do that. And I think, Mike, you got brave enough to do it later. Dan and I weren't very good water skiers at the time. I was too young, that's Mike skiing.
Tell them about the dock.
I'm getting there.
Oh.
Thank you for reminding me, though. I told Danny to remind me, so we go up for a reunion, 15 years later?
We were about
David was about
24
40.
because we had Brian and Amy.
So David was
24. He was like 26.
26, but he hadn't water skied in 10, 12 years, probably. And so these guys all used to do dock starts. And dock start, you'd simply sit on the dock like this, hit it, and go. Well, then they graduated to standing dock starts. Stand on the dock, hit it. You time it just right, you have a little extra slack. I've never done this, I've just watched. Throw it, jump, and the boat, pulls the slack out as soon as you hit the water, and off you go.
Also known as flying dock start.
Flying out, yeah. So David goes up, we go up to this reunion trip. I haven't been on ski forever. Everybody does quick little turns, and David goes, I'm going to try the dock start. David, no. Everybody say, you haven't done this. Just get in, at least sit down. Try the sitting dock start. No, I can do this. So he gets himself up, and everybody's watching. We got to see this, right? Takes the slack, hit it. He throws the slack. Now just imagine a series of pictures. He looks great, everything's perfect. And the next picture is David's like this. The next picture, David's like this. The next picture, David's like that. And you look back, and the ski never left the dock. He just totally pulled out of it. He did a water start the next time. But that was David. He just, he would try things. And, he went up, we were talking to Mike the other day. We went up, when my dad died in '86, Mom, he said, damn it, I never got to do a snow vacation because your dad was always hunting during snow season.
Yeah.
So for Christmas, I don't want to be around the house. I want to change things. We're going to go take a snow vacation. And we went up to Big Sky, Montana.
Actually, it was Sun Valley the first time. Big Sky was the second time.
Was it?
It was Sun Valley the first time. That's where I learned to
We
ski.
were having
Actually, it was Mammoth the first
No,
time.
No, that was like the
very first time we went
Okay.
to Sun Valley.
I don't know, look
You
up
remember
the
what
Ski
pictures.
there, and it was one of my other favorite trips. I remember it. We were out in the snow at the hayride, and Timmy and Danny had the leather pouch and had the sherry, and it was the first time I ever even tasted
The
alcohol and wanted to
What? You were about
We were,
12.
we were in the middle. I was 10. We were in the middle. It was to warm me up. It was freezing.
That was Danny.
It was warm. It was freezing. It wasn't. It was for warming purposes.
Okay.
But it was definitely Sun Valley, then
We're in the snow.
Montana,
We're on
and
the
then Mammoth.
Oh, that's true, because they had chicken pox.
Okay.
Yes.
With
Thank
the
you.
sherry.
So David was a really good skier. He went to college and started Ventura. Then he went up to Yampa, what was then called Yampa Valley College in Steamboat Springs. And had he studied half as much as he skied, he would have been a physicist. But it's another story. And so he became a great skier. Was on their ski team, and when we took this trip again, he hadn't skied in a long time. But
I think he even
Mike-
skied with Billy Kidd.
did he?
Yeah.
Wow. Mike said, you were like 12, 14?
14, I think, something
Because
like
I
that.
want to be a snowboarder, I don't want to try skiing. And so David, like I said, he tries everything, he goes, I'll go with you. So he went out and snowboarded with Mike, and they both learned, and David spent more time on his butt and his elbows than he ever did on the snow. But he just did it just to be with you and,
Yeah.
and to try to help you learn and for him to learn, and that's just the way he was.
Yeah.
He thought, I'm a great surfer, how hard this
How hard can this be?
It can be really
He
hard.
taught me on skis, so, and we switched, Well,
Yeah.
I switched, and he switched like once or twice, and then back to
Yeah,
skis.
Yeah, so he was a wonderful guy, great fun to do things with, hunting and fishing we did all the time, and a lot of the slides you'll see there's a group of them in there from hunting trips and things, and we miss him. And like I said, just takeaways, you know, Gentle and Kind. There's a song by that's one of my favorites, and I think next time you hear that, think of David, plus a couple of songs we got coming up here in a minute. After David Kaufman speaks. Where's David? There we go. Come on up.